As we rode on the backs of Tolo and Killen, we were very quiet. The forest was still as before, and darkness crept up to us when we saw the moon slowly disappear from sight. Once we went deep into some vines. We were almost thrown off a couple of times when Tolo and Killen tripped. The weevils with their glowing green eyes seemed to have no trouble finding their way in the darkness. The weevil in front of us turned to us, and with a low voice said, "Stay close, we are almost there." The head weevil pulled back some more vines with his bird-like feet when a bright light blinded us as our gorilla's feet scooted forward. The grass had turned to sand and rock. Tolo said, "Princesses, keep your heads down till your eyes get used to the light." Once they did, we looked up, being careful not to look into the eyes of the weevils. The pack leader let out a howl. All his pack started to do so as well. Over a sand dune, we heard more howls. We got off Tolo's and Killen's backs and walked over the dune to see even more weevils. These were different from the others. These were females, and along with them were some frail older weevils, with grey beards of different sizes. The females had no wings, and the old ones' wings were plucked of all their feathers. "This is my pack. The females bleed from their eyes silver drops of tears from the loss of their pups and hunger." The lead weevil looked down from the hill at his pack. The females looked up in disappointment when they saw the hunt had failed, while still trying to look strong for their leader. We went down the hill to where their dens were. As the pack grew closer to us, we could see more clearly the hunger portrayed on their emaciated bodies. One by one they all managed to stand up, rubbing up against us, wagging their tails with exhausting effort. They were beautiful with their different color coats, and not one had the same pattern. I could imagine in this state that they still had a majesty about them. How they must have looked with strong bodies. We rubbed their heads, which seemed to please them, because they all started to howl once more, making a harmony of many tones becoming one. The lead weevil said, "At any time we could have taken you down, feeding upon you." It would not have been the first time a weevil killed a human in desperation, but we need your help. Look at us. We are growing old and weak, except for Kino, my half-brother, which was too old for Lady Lanyu to train in her ways of darkness. I looked around. There was something missing. Where were the pups? Surely there were some. Killen asked with ginger in his voice, "How do we know we can trust you weevils? As you have just spoken, a weevil kills even the innocent for their nourishment. This could be a trap in some form." Growls protruded from the disagreeing pack. A rush of energy ran through the air as growls became teeth being bared. The pack leader in a calm voice continued. Solo, the fragile female, the only one with wings though small, tried to get up but could barely stay up. She shuffled back and forth until Tolo and Kino leaned on both her sides, keeping her from falling. Lady Lanyu commanded us to give them to her to be trained for her biddings. About a year ago, some of the females had litters of our own. At any time, one of us who questioned her or were out of position was punished or given no food. We could stand her methods, but could not ask this of our offspring. We knew her methods were cruel. We denied her command and agreed among the pack. This sparked conflict. She took them by force, and with the help of some of the pack's rebels. We fought for many months, trying to reclaim our pups, but Lady Lanyu stopped our food supply. As we grew weaker and weaker, we had to start hunting for food once more, leaving little time to find a solution. Oak had another litter 2 months ago. Lady Lanyu found out by a traitor in the pack. When they began their raid, Sarlo and his newly formed pack of traitors forced their way past us and stole the last hope of a future for our kind.